Rejoice, ye penny-pinching nerds, rejoice! For this is a season unbound by our bank accounts, unfettered by fees. A legendary age of liberty. This is the Summer of Free! Hey guys, Peter Franson here from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. Once again, the Summer of Free is upon us. I'm approaching the Summer of Free a little bit different this year. I'm going to kick things off today by showcasing a number of resources that you can use to find free geek movies, TV shows, video games, tabletop games, and then across 3 more installments through the end of July, I'll highlight some specific free geek entertainment that I personally find really cool. But front-loading the summer with all of the resource options seemed like the best way to equip you guys to find the entertainment that you're most likely going to enjoy and that will hopefully last you the whole summer long. So, starting off in the category of retro games, John Wilkerson recommends archive.org, the Internet Arcade over at archive.org specifically. If you just go to archive.org/details/Internet Arcade, there is a whole boatload of games that they are legally preserving here, but you're only, I think they get away with that because you're only able to play them through your browser. You're not actually able to download these. But anyway, if you're in the mood to kind of dig into like old arcade games that you know really aren't playable much of any other way, like they've got Tron and the discs of Tron, like old 80s arcade games, really impressive, some of the games that they have here. So anyway, if you're just in the mood for like a quick little shoot 'em up, you know, or simple classic arcadey fix on a lunch break or something, then archive.org and the Internet Arcade might be a good option for you. And then next up, Adam Collings recommended Sarien.net. That's spelled SARIEN.net. And this is actually an authorized preservation of old Sierra point-and-click adventure games. So if you think of like Maniac Mansion, well, actually the list here they've got is King's Quest, Quest for the Crown, King's Quest 2, Romancing the Throne, King's Quest 3, whatever the subtitle is, Police Quest, Space Quest 1 and 2, The Black Cauldron, and let's see, this looks like a bonus feature after that. But anyway, so if you're in the mood for some classic point-and-click adventure gaming, then Sarien.net may be a good stop for you. Getting into modern games, though, maybe you're not really into retro gaming. If you go over to Steam, this may be a little-known fact. If you go over to Steam, and then you just click on, let's see here, how did I do this before? You just click on the search icon next to the field where you can type in something to search for. Just click on search, and then it'll take you to all products, and at that point you want to go over to this drop down that allows you to sort, and instead of sorting by relevance, which is the default, you go to sort by lowest price, and they'll reorder all these games, and suddenly they'll show you a bunch of games. Now most of them are going to say free to play, and that's going to tend to be the types of games that are, you know, online type games that are going to have microtransactions in them and stuff like that, and so, you know, you're going to have to sift through the ones that maybe have some kind of mercenary schemes. That's the downside. But there are also some that are just simply listed as free, and as I've looked through some of these, they are less likely to have microtransaction type things going on in them, or at least not, you know, mercenary ones. So anyway, there's just a whole bunch of time that you could spend just killing time without spending any money, just looking through the options over there at Steam store.steampowered.com. Honestly, if you just type in Steam to your search with your search browser, it's going to take you to the Steam website. Let's see here. Moving on. RPGmaker.net. This is a place I've gone to, I think, every summer since the beginning of the Summer of Free. I really like old school, or at least I did in the day. It's these days that they don't as often resonate with me, but old school turn-based JRPG style games. This whole website basically has a ton of them that are all user created, and what you can do when you go to this site is click on the full games list, There'll be like a games drop down, then you click on full games list, and then you have all these filters on the right side of the screen that you can use to like filter out. One thing I love about a site like this is that there are ratings provided by the community, so you can actually go to, you know, there's a scale of 1 to 5, and you can choose the minimum rating. Like, I don't want to bother with any games that have an average rating of 3 stars or less, you know, so you can set your minimum rating to be 3.5 or 4 or 4.5 or whatever, and that can really help you just discover what is most likely the cream of the crop, what is most likely the game that you will enjoy. You can also filter out, exclude any commercial games, because there are some games that are available for sale by their creators, so, but you can just leave, you know, exclude those from the search results. And so that's another great place where you can go to just kill some time and discover now and then some really nice little gems. So that's rpgmaker.net. The next place you might want to go is itch.io, and specifically itch.io/games/free. And this is just where a lot of indie games go. Sometimes they're demos, sometimes they're full games. This is going to be probably the widest and weirdest variety of resources. This resource, excuse me, will have probably the widest and weirdest variety of games that you're likely to find of any of the resources that I give you for finding games. All kinds of weird, wild stuff that you can find over at itch.io, and again, /games/free. Moving on, this one I featured last year, but it's worth mentioning again, and that's the Blizzard Arcade. StarCraft 2 has a starter edition that you can download for free over at, well, if you just do a search for StarCraft 2 Starter Edition or StarCraft Arcade, it'll take you to a page where you can get the starter edition for free, and it has all of the assets built into it that are needed to play and create a ton of different like RTS games and role-playing games. I mean, it's not just because it's an engine for an RTS game doesn't mean that creation of games through it is limited to RTS. There are a number of just straight up role-playing games that users have made, and if you want to like find some of the best of those that are available, you can get all kinds of cool results, but like, you know, top 10 Blizzard Arcade games, you know, and or top 10 Blizzard, you know, Blizzard Arcade RPG games or whatever. There's it's been active enough for long enough that you can really find some nice lists, or at least some starting points of games that look really nice. I mean, these are like, it's built in a modern gaming engine, and again, you can get the community to do the work for you in sifting out the crap and finding really the best of the best that has come out of the StarCraft 2 Starter Edition and been put up on the Blizzard Arcade. It's worth mentioning, if you wanted to go into it purely for the creative aspect, you do need to buy the full version of StarCraft 2 in order to upload your created game to the Blizzard Arcade. So, but if you're just looking to enjoy the creations of others, you can have full access to their creations just by downloading the free StarCraft 2 Starter Edition. Moving along, PC Gamer magazine recently published their list of best free PC games in 2018, and in the print version of the magazine, it's actually the 50 best free PC games of 2018. So it's a beefy list, and you don't need to have a subscription to the magazine. You can just go to pcgamer.com/the-50-best-free-PC-games / or I'm sure you could just through a search find, you know, PC Gamer best free PC games, and you ought to be able to find that article, which is again titled "The Best Free PC Games in 2018." And that's 50 games that you can check out that they say are highly worth checking out yourself. I've already looked through some of them. You know, it's a wide variety. I mean, there's a plenty in that list that are not my kind of game. So maybe, you know, that's all the more reason that your type of game is represented in this list. So anyway, that's at pcgamer.com. All right, so now getting out of video games and moving to the tabletop. If you're looking to, have like a fresh board game experience, but you don't want to pump out the money for it, you might be able to get a fresh experience using the board games that you already have. This is a cool thing that you can discover for yourself by going over to boardgamegeek.com and typing in the search field the name of a game that you already own. I typed in, as an example here, Battleship. This is like, yeah, that Battleship, the classic Battleship. And once you get to the page for the game, you look at there's all kinds of subcategories: overview, ratings, forums. Click on forums, and then there's a little list a little vertical list, and click on variants. Forums and then variants once you've found your game at boardgamegeek.com. And there's often a number of variants that people have created to spice up the game, to do things a little bit different. There's a solitaire variant here for Battleship. There's a Battleship Search and Destroy variant. There's a variant that makes it faster, more fun, and tactical. There's a variant called Battleship Armada. That sounds interesting. So anyway, you'd be surprised what you can find that will spice up a game that you already have, that can bring some new life to it, to make it worth putting back on the table. The other tabletop option that I would want to recommend, and this is more on the paper and pencil RPG side of things, is drivethrurpg.com, and that's through spelled T-H-R-U, drive, T-H-R-U, RPG.com. And this is going to be a place that is going to have a ton of PDF purchasable game resources, but if you just scroll down and keep your eye on the left of the page, you'll see a box that says price. Underneath that, there's the option to pay what you want or free, and then they give you a couple fields you can fill in. Just click on that free option, or you could go back and try pay what you want as well. If you have $1 or $2, but this is the summer of free, so let's focus on free. And then you get, excuse me, a boatload of results that you can further look for ways to kind of filter to find exactly what you're looking for. But there are complete RPG rules systems, and so one way to save money would be to say to your RPG group, hey, before we go and start into the next campaign that I'm going to purchase or whatever, the next supplement or whatever that I'm going to buy, how about we try one of these games, find one that looks really cool that we all agree on, and learn it. Spend the summer learning this game. There are some really solid rule systems here that are offered for free, especially some of those that are based on the kind of like it's not public domain or open source. There's a name for it. The open license, I think, of the D&D rules has really allowed for a lot of cool fantasy rule systems and RPG systems to be created completely, with this open license, so that a lot of creators don't feel like they really need to charge for every version of the game they put out there, and so they're able to put out, the base version of a game for free, and then maybe charge for, supplemental adventures or whatever, But there's just all kinds of stuff that you can find, again, over at drivethrurpg.com. Just scroll down on the left and click on free. Moving along now, what if you want to watch some movies, some geeky movies or TV shows or anime? Now, I'm not a real big anime fan, but YouTube user On the Way Over was catching up on last year's summer free content back in January, just this last January, and left a comment and wrote, "I'm getting to the summer of free in January. Space Brothers is a near-future sci-fi about two brothers who dreamt of becoming astronauts since they were kids. One followed his dream, and the other tries to as well after getting fired from his previous job as an auto designer. The show's a bit realistic, but it's very funny and inspirational, and it includes a lot of great facts about the space programs in Japan and the U.S. Happy New Year!" So thanks On the Way Over for that recommendation. You can find that and a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of other anime options over at crunchyroll.com. Again, this is another site that I've come back to, I think, year after year to find some stuff that you might be able to enjoy, even if you're not an anime fan. I think it was just last summer, I put up a list of anime options or something like that anime haters should try. So anyway, if you want to if you're already an anime fan, about crunchyroll.com, chances are good. But if you are curious about anime, but you don't really want to invest money in it to try it out, crunchyroll.com, great website to go to. All right, so now moving on to like the movies and TV side of things. Let's see, voodoo.com, VUDU.com is a good place to go. Once you get there, since there is a bunch of stuff there you could rent to watch, click on Movies on Us. Movies on Us is at the top of the screen there. You click on that, and then they give you a ton of free movie options, and even like you can go to subcategories of like horror and sci-fi and stuff like that. And already I found some ones there that kind of jumped out to me. Gremlins, the Doctor Strange animated movie. If you liked the Benedict Cumberbatch movie and want some more Doctor Strange, then that could be a cool fix for you. The one that really stands out to me that's available to watch at voodoo.com is Big Fish. This is a Tim Burton movie. I think Ewan McGregor's in it, and I think maybe also the dude who played Dr. Manhattan. I can't remember his name now, but anyway, this is a really great fantasy drama is the best way I can describe it. It's a nice like father-son story. If like me, your heartstrings get tugged a bit when it comes to father-son related drama, and it's got all kinds of weird visuals and stuff. It's basically about this father and son, adult son, and his aging father, who have never really had a good relationship because the father is always kind of like telling tall tales and is never willing to be pinned down and fess up, okay, yeah, I exaggerated that a little bit. He just tells all these tall tales of adventures he went on in his life, and they're way too crazy to be believed, but he never gives in and is willing to say, yes, okay, I'm exaggerating. He's like, no, this is how it happened, And so as he's telling these stories, we get to see these quote-unquote flashbacks of these things that happened, and it plays out in like Technicolor with all kinds of special effects and crazy visuals and stuff like that. So it's a really cool visual experience and a nice fantasy experience and a really nice father-son drama as well. So anyway, you can watch that for free over at voodoo.com. I wasn't going to get into specific recommendations yet, but anyway, that jumped out to me. Let's see. Also, a brief mention to crackle.com, which I think now maybe it's been bought by Sony since the last time I was here. Now I guess the address is sonycrackle.com. But anyway, there's a bunch of different movie options you can find over there. Francisco Ruiz of the Retro Rewind podcast recently recommended shoutfactorytv.com, shoutfactorytv.com, where you can find movies and TV and some original content as well. The one that probably has been most impressive to me as I kind of started looking for resources for entertainment this year is tubitv.com. That's TUBITV.com. Now, for some reason, when I play content in this, and you do have to register with your email, but it's not invasive at all. I mean, they don't spam you with emails and stuff. It's just a basic email, sign up, and then you're good to go. For some reason, this site thinks I speak Spanish as my first language, so it serves up ads to me in Spanish. Which I'm fine with, makes them easier to ignore. But aside from that, I've really been impressed with this site. They've got the movie Centurion, which has Michael Fassbender of Magneto fame, and that is a movie that like he did right before he really became a big name, right when he was on the cusp of like hitting it big. And it's a really cool, it's not a fantasy movie, but because of the time period and because of some of like the warfare tactics of like these giant flaming balls of oil and stuff, it scratches some of those nerdy geek itches, even not being a fantasy movie. So anyway, if you haven't seen Centurion, I really enjoyed that one, and that's available at tubitv.com. They've got the Merlin TV series there. They've got, I was even thinking of buying like some cheap DVD sets if I could find them to introduce the series to my sons, but they've got the entire Transformers Generation 1 TV series, which I've already started introducing to my boys and enjoying with them a little bit. They've got the entire Bleach. You know what? I'm not sure. I haven't verified they have the entire Bleach animated series, anime series. I think they do, but anyway, that one's been recommended to me again and again over the years, and so I might want to check that one out. It's got Cube, which is one of my favorite sci-fi horror movies, and it also has Cube sequels, which are okay, but that first one, yeah. And it's got Jeepers Creepers, which is one of my favorite monster horror movies of all time. It's got Fire in the Sky, which if you haven't seen it, is like a sci-fi drama about a man dealing with being abducted and returning from that experience, abducted by aliens, of course. And let's see here. Oh, and although it's not complete by any stretch, it's got a ton of episodes of the old MST3K series, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Plenty to make it a weekly event that would last you throughout the entire summer to watch a new episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000, once every weekend. That actually has like some summer connotation for me. I remember when I was in college, I was staying up late, especially during the summers, and after my parents had gone to bed, and my older sister had moved away, my younger sister and I would end up staying up really late and just watching Mystery Science Theater 3000 together until one or both of us got, too tired and was ready to go to bed, So I already have like some nice summer vibes associated with Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I can totally see myself digging into that again this summer and doing it for free over at tubitv.com. All right, those are all of my recommendations for now for resources that will hopefully get you started into some free geek entertainment that will last you the whole summer long. As I said, in future installments, I'll be sharing some of my own recommendations, but those are all of my thoughts for now. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
christiangeekcentral.com